Ipswich won, Man United won. Before we start, I want you guys to comment down below your thoughts on the game. I say this because I'm pretty sure the fan base has very different thoughts on what happened today. If you were to take the performance and take the sentiment out of it completely, you're going to say it was really bad. But if you consider the time that Amarim has had and the facilities available to him and how short of a period he had to implement his play style, then you would understand that this game actually had more positives than negatives. You might be saying that's totally wrong because we saw what happened today. We couldn't get the 3 points. We couldn't be clinical enough. But the difference is that this is Amarim's first game. See, when I saw the lineup when it came out, I nearly disagreed with every single selection of his. The players that played and where they played. For me, it was totally off. But guess what? It was Amarim's first game and I let him by. You know why? Because this isn't his team. And secondly, he doesn't know the players as well as we do. Because you might be thinking that Amarim has been watching United for the past 2 weeks, religiously every single game. Yes, but no, probably not every single game. Maybe the last 1 or 2 months. And then he's been psychoanalyzing that. And then he's had training. And he's had to implement another play style. Now you see why he probably doesn't know who are the good players and who are the bad players. Why he selected Garnacho, why he selected Dalot to start with. And why he selected Ahmad at right wing back instead of Cam. Because we know these profiles because we've been watching these same players for 7 or 8 years. So we know exactly what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. But why would a sporting manager religiously watch United games? Which is why, as ridiculous as the lineup looked, we have to give him a bye because it's his first game. Let's say we're into game 5 or game 6 and he's still picking a lineup just like this. After seeing the results we have, the performance levels we have, if he still picks the same team and it's not performing, then we can actually hold Amarim accountable. But the main thing that I've taken from Amarim's game today was, yes, we weren't clinical, but I think that's very much on the players. And the idea is, if we want to be clinical, we want to train positions. We want to train our strikers going into the same positions, our wingers picking the ball and crossing or cutting back in the same positions, and our midfielders pushing forward and dropping back when necessary, our wing backs inverting at the same time. These positional patterns take a long time to actually implement, which is why we have to give him at least a few games so that we can see, okay, there is a significant pattern. And guess what? If you were to tell me that there was no pattern, no sign of patterns from today's game, I think you're lying. Because it might not have been great. It might not have been final form sporting. But the idea is it takes baby steps. And you reach there by taking these baby steps. Because even sporting, I'm pretty sure if you look at one of their first games, they probably weren't playing like this. Maybe it might have taken them a month. And it might take us a month as well. Because we are so used to playing counter-attacking since when? Since Jose times. So this is since 2016. We've been playing counter-attacking. And ever since then, we never had a manager to tell us, calm down, let's play with the ball, let's build on positional tactics and a system that will yield us goals, that will yield us good performances. But we never had that so far. And that is why we have to just give Amarim time. But obviously, Amarim gets a bye, the coaches get a bye, and even some of the players will get a bye if they were playing out of position. But players like Garnacho, players like Dalot, who are playing in very familiar positions, I think should be doing way better. And from the start of the season, I've been saying this about Garnacho. Why there is no use for Garnacho in a system that plays any kind of attacking football. He is good for a counter-attacking system, but not any kind of possession system. And we saw it today. People saying, star boy, star boy. Where was your star boy now? When we're actually trying to play football, he struggles. And this is the difference between good players and bad players. The good players know when to control the ball, when to dash with the ball. The bad players, all they know is dashing with the ball. And so they try to use the one strength they have at maybe even the peril of the rest of the team. They don't care about the rest of the team. It's only them and boosting their ego. So whether that's goals, whether that's assists, that's what they look for first. And when they're asked to do certain jobs like crossing, then you see that they actually do struggle. This shows you they never had the ability to start with. I still saw somebody on Twitter saying that this is Ronaldo's reincarnation. People would have been making fun of Ronaldo if Twitter was a thing in 2003, 2004 when Ronaldo came in. But the difference is, number one, this is not his first season, this is his third season. Number two, Garnacho does not even have a sliver of the quality that Ronaldo had. Even back then, Ronaldo was a party trick. He would entertain the hell out of every fan that came to Old Trafford. So maybe he didn't have the output, but he was entertaining as hell. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? But Garnacho, what does he entertain you with? The only comedic thing I see of Garnacho of some certain level is that he rolls over the ball. He tries to dribble or he tries to cross, he rolls over the ball, falls on his face, flat on his face. What else does Garnacho actually offer to the team? How do you see him have a role in a cohesive and drilled setup that is actually meant to progress the ball? Not dash with the ball, progress the ball with every single player involved. And the long balls that we used to play under Ten Hag seem to have reduced, at least in this game. We weren't pinging as many long balls over to Garnacho or Ahmad as much. And this is a good evolutionary aspect. Why? Because the more we ping long balls, when we don't have physical wingers, how the hell do you expect us to pull the ball back and control the ball and move it forward? If you have somebody like a Haaland or even a Zirkzee to an extent, they can bring the ball down at least. But when you have Garnacho and Ahmad, as strong as Ahmad is, he's not tall or physical enough to actually bring the ball down. He can't wrestle a centre back to bring the ball down necessarily. So one of the biggest flaws I saw under Ten Hag was we would ask Onana to ping long balls to the wingers who have no chance of getting the ball down in the first place. But as always, the right-hand side was excellent, as we've seen this season. The right-hand side was excellent, the left-hand side was a flaw. Evans was showing his age, Eriksen was showing his age. You see that they won't be able to contribute to Amorim's high-intensity style. And if we want to see something like that, we want to take it to the next level. We want to see players who they have ability to play in a high-intensity system, but at the same time, players who know when to control the ball down and players who know when to pass, when to look for the shot. As much as we don't think that these players are good enough, I agree with that as well. The system will teach them. You will see across the next 2 or 3 months of Amorim's football that the same players who are missing right now, yes, I include even Rasmus and Garnacho, you will see them turn up in positions and score as well. Why? The system will drill them to such a point that it covers their weaknesses, that it only focuses on their strengths. And that way you will see the wingbacks will be scoring, the attacking forwards will be scoring, and the striker will be scoring plenty. This is just the first game, and what we have to remember is give them time. Give Amorim time. And yes, today could have been better, but guess what? It could have been worse as well. We play 100% Ten Hag football, and we lose the game 2 or 3-0. I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility. We've done this before. So I guess those are positives you can take, and the obvious negative is that we could do much better. But give them time, and he will understand who are the good players, who are the bad players. But if he still picks the same team and we play the same way by game 10, then questions need to be asked. Then we shall see where are we really going to. Are we going up or are we going down? So that was Ipswich 1, Man United 1. Draw probably not the best result, but we learn, we move into Bodo Glimt on Friday. So see you all in the next one.